Take it away.
Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you for being here this evening. My name is Dr. Ron Cochin, and I'm calling from Thornhill, Ontario. I started with these nourishment strategies about a year and a half ago, just after the birth of my first grandson. At that time, I was overweight, I was tired, I was stressed out, and having some other health issues as well. Sue Sanders, who I believe is on this call tonight, told me about the many benefits of the Isagenix programs, and thank God she did. I'm now 40 pounds lighter with an abundance of energy and have put on a lot of lean muscle. I work out every day. My life has changed since starting this program. I am really excited to be here tonight and be a part of this Zoom call to share with you all out there. Before we get started, I want to thank the organizers and the speakers of this event, most importantly, every one of you that have taken the time to join us tonight, especially the people here that are learning for the first time. So thank you. As a bit of housekeeping, your line will be muted by the organizers. And for those of you that are sharing tonight, please make sure you unmute yourself before speaking. You are welcome to join in on the messenger chat that is happening at the same time as this event is going on. All you have to do is just click on that little chat button.
A year ago.
Sorry.
You are welcome to join. Okay, boom, boom. If you have any questions, please hold them until the end of the event. There will be time after the presentation for us to answer individual questions. We want to honor this, so we want to honor our time commitments to finish by about 9:30. Our goal tonight is to educate you on how Isagenix can help you. You will learn the nourishment strategies that make up the program, and also what happens when you share Isagenix with others as well. We're going to start off with a brief video, and then I will begin to introduce our first speaker.
Awesome, Ron. So I'm going to share two stories from dads, so one after the other, and then so hopefully that sound comes well through, and then after that, we'll do the intro, okay?
Okay.
I was 340 pounds. I hit rock bottom when I realized that my weight was stealing me away from my children. No parent should ever have to tell their son that they have to ride on a roller coaster by themselves with a stranger because you can't fit in the seat. No parent should ever have to tell their daughter that they can't get on the floor and play with them because you can't get back up. Broke my heart. Then I was introduced to Isagenix, and everything changed. I was told by my sponsor right out of the gate that you need to start the Isabody Challenge. My sponsor, Scott and Shauna, have just been amazing from day one, and they had that belief in me that I didn't have, that I had lost years ago, and my daughter too. I was always daddy, obviously, but she always had that belief in me, and she heard that Scott and Shauna thought I could lose 100 pounds, and she told me I would too, and that's all I needed a year. I've now lost 100 pounds, and I can do the things with my children that I never could before. And it's not about what I've lost, it's about what I've gained. I've gained a newfound self-respect, a belief in myself, and my children have gained their out of it. My name is Chris, and this is my Isabody story. A year ago, I was 340. So growing up, I was always into sports. I was at the ball fields every day. My father was my coach, and I looked forward to getting out and playing with the boys, the guys that I grew up with. So around 12 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a professional baseball player. A lot of hard work went into that, and went to college, got a scholarship, ended up getting drafted in the first round by the Baltimore Orioles. A couple years into my career, I had a career-ending shoulder injury, and tried to come back for a couple of years, didn't really work out. And then, reality hit. I had to retire. I got into some really bad habits. My life went downhill pretty fast. I hit rock bottom, and I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks fighting for my life. The Lord gave me a second chance, and that's when Isagenix entered my life. I feel amazing every day. I wake up with energy. The Isabody Challenge, my goal when I first started these Isabody Challenges was to win the Isabody Challenge. Everything about Isagenix and my healthy lifestyle, my wife, they all support me. I'm very grateful. My name is Alvy. This is my Isabody story.
Wow. That first one really got to me.
Yes.
The second one, I've met him. What a transformation. Okay, so I'm excited to introduce our speaker tonight, our presenter tonight, Dr. Evan Hill. I met Evan about a year and a half ago, and I consider him a mentor and a friend. He is someone that I consider who talks the talk and walks the walk. Evan is married, is a dad of 3 kids, aged 10, 8, and 6. Isagenix has transformed his life and that of his family, and now speaks regularly, educating people about the nourishment strategies of Isagenix so they can benefit as well. Thanks for being here tonight, Evan. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ron. And Ron, just want to shout out to you. It's been an inspiration to watch your transformation, and it's great to see how many people you've been helping with this program. And I love your vulnerability and your shares as well, and what you're doing as a grandfather. So thank you.
Thank you.
So welcome everybody, dads, and whoever else is here on the line. I am very excited to be here tonight. Isagenix has transformed my life, and I'm going to share a little bit about why I'm so excited about that before I get started. My story really started back when I was 29. It was just before we started having kids, actually, and I was building a business with my wife from the ground up, both entrepreneurs, chiropractors, and we were $250,000 in debt. I was stressed out of my mind to the point it was paralyzing. And really what struck me was a patient of mine. She introduced me to the program, and I really got excited about it because here I was, a chiropractor, and my goal is to help people get healthy, and I wasn't aware of some of the things that she showed me in this video, and it was all about the changes in our food supply and how man has really changed how we make food. And the second thing was how chemicals were how chemicals were affecting our body and affecting our health. And what struck me was that never actually was something that was taught to me in 8 years of learning about health education and helping people. So I thought, I'm going to do this so I can learn how I can help people better, and not thinking for a second that I needed any help. As I said, though, I was very stressed. And some other things that I wasn't even aware of were problems that had creeped up on over time, was that I was crashing between meals, so I wasn't able to focus properly. I had to have some carbohydrates, like a hit of carbs, in order to be able to focus again properly. I was napping every day, and if I wasn't napping, I needed a nap. My endurance had tumbled significantly since I was in high school. I was a senior athlete of the year, and here I was at 29 trying to beat this guy 10 years older than me with squash, and I couldn't beat him. He would run me around, and I would feel lightheaded and almost like I wanted to puke after the first game even. And a number of other things were going on, and again, I didn't realize it until I started the program. So what happened for me was I started the program, followed it to a T. Day 3, I woke up, and it was like somebody reached in my body and flicked on the light switch. It was like that shift in being in stress all the time, and so much worry about making it. It was like it was lifted, and that I had resources, I had hope, I had clearing. I was starting to feel excited about life again, like it wasn't just a burden. And I wasn't napping anymore. I had great energy. I was, what else was going on? I started to beat that guy in squash. The next time I played him, I crushed him 2 games straight. And he was like, whoa, what's going on with you? So that really caught my attention. I started sharing this with friends, family, patients, and I was seeing transformation after transformation. And something unexpected happened, and that was that Isagenix was rewarding me for sharing it. And these rewards continued to grow until a point that I really had to take notice. I was always interested in residual income, making money in my sleep, that kind of thing, and it was happening. It was happening with Isagenix. And so over time, what happened is that income continued to rise, and this is where, you know, a lot of dads may be able to hear this. When we were in the baby making stages, those were years that was very difficult for me, especially when the kids were very young. I wanted to be at home all the time, and I'd find myself, you know, getting in the car and having to go home, leave every day, and I wanted to be at home with my kids. And what ended up happening is that the Isagenix income grew to the point that I was able to move away from my career as a chiropractor to become a stay-at-home dad and an entrepreneur from home. And I'm building my businesses from home now, and I'm also helping people globally with Isagenix. So I am extremely grateful to Isagenix for helping me transform my health. I went through a physical transformation as well, as you can see here on the left. These pictures here are over 6 months using this program in conjunction with 20 minutes workouts a day. And my goal here for you dads is to show you a way that you can take your health to the next level in a way that is what I would call dad approved. You know, something that dads can input into extremely busy lives, whether they're traveling, whether they have meetings consistently through the day, whatever it may be going on for you. This program is something that you can incorporate into your life as part of your lifestyle that can help you be a better dad and help you, you know, be there and have more energy and resources for your kids. So let's get into it. First question I have for you is, if you could visualize your life in 2 years from now, what would you have to change to get there? So I really want you to think about this. Is it that you would like to have more freedom? Would you like to be able to spend more time with your family? Would you like to be able to have more resources to take on your purpose in life? Would it be that you'd like to get the swagger back in your step because you feel so confident and you know you look good? Would you like to feel attractive again to your spouse or your significant other? Would you like to travel more? What is it that you would like to create in your life in the next 2 years, and what would you have to change to get there? And I think through this video this webinar, we're going to show you some strategies to help you get to where you want to go. So I'm going to share with you tonight a program that Isagenix designed. Now, this program that you see on the right here is called the Value Pack. Now, this pack is unique in the marketplace because it combines 4 health strategies into one program. I like to use the phrase that I learned in chiropractic, that is that the body needs no help in healing, it just needs no interference. So what that means is that if we put in the right nutrition, the right nourishment, and we take away toxicity, and we help to reduce stress in the body, and we give the body what it needs to protect itself from free radicals, that can make a huge difference in our body's ability to heal itself. We're removing a lot of the interferences that affect us. And so that's what it's about. It's about doing these things to help our body heal itself. There's another saying in chiropractic called, "The power that made the body heals the body." So again, it comes to giving the body what it needs, and the body will do the rest. So we're not saying that, you know, we treat disease, we diagnose, nothing like that. This is about giving your body what it needs and letting your body be the miracle. So it's the combination of superfood nutrition with Isagenix with whole food eating, and that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to be talking about 4 health strategies that go into this one program. The 4 strategies are nourishment, detoxification, balancing, and protecting your body. And as I go through these, I'm going to be flipping through some slides of some before and afters, or before and nows, of other dads that have gone through this program. So I'm going to start with nourishment. So Isagenix very early on realized that there's been a significant change in the way farmers are growing their food. And this is there's a lot of pressure as the food industry is publicly traded. And what they did was they sacrificed quality for quantity. And through things like no longer rotating crops, same field, spraying the crops, fertilizing only with what the plant needs to grow, but not with everything that is going to replenish the soils to help us be extraordinary. And there's a cost to that. So what do you think the cost is? You know, we go into the grocery store and we see all these beautiful foods, but what's in them? And the reality is that what's in them is very different than what used to be in them. And there's a lot of things that are in them now that aren't supposed to be in there. So what do you think the impact is on people, especially us dads? Hopefully we're eating grocery store foods. A lot of us aren't. What ends up happening is that we start to lack in energy. And things start, we just feel fatigued. We feel tired, waking up tired, going to bed tired, midday tired. And what happens is that we start to generally try to stimulate our body with things like caffeine. And so you'll see a lot of dads and they're having 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 cups or more of coffee a day. And that's pushing themselves through the day. And if it's not coffee, then it's sugar. And if it's, and a lot of times it's both. And the challenge is that these aren't sustainable. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to crash and we're going to burn and we're going to get sick. And then someone else is going to have to take care of us while we get ourselves better again. Now, the other problem that happens is cravings. So this is a big issue for people. And typically, I'll explain cravings first. So cravings is when the body is missing something and we are literally searching for that missing ingredient. So they say that the most important part of our diet, like the most important thing in our diet is the thing we're missing. And our body will keep looking for it until we get it. So what we need to do is we need to replenish it with superfood nutrition. Now, the problem is that we don't typically reach for those things. What do we reach for? We reach for things that might be salty, crunchy, sweet. It could be chocolate, ice cream, chips, crackers, those sorts of things. And these things do not replenish the body with what it needs. And so that ends up causing overeating. And it's, consistently eating foods that are low in nutrition, but high in calorie. And then that causes the waistline to grow. And you see a lot of these dads here that, the waistlines continue to grow and grow and grow. So what Isagenix did is they said, okay, we know that we have an issue with nourishment, but we need to create something that works for people. So it has to have some criteria. So number 1, it has to be convenient. Number 2, it has to have a full blanket of nourishment. It has to have everything in it. It has to taste good. Okay, and it has to be able to travel well, and it has to be affordable. So what they did was they grabbed the best protein they could find in the world, which is grass-fed New Zealand protein. Then they grabbed low glycemic carbohydrates to help people that have blood sugar challenges, to keep those in the right place when they're consuming this. Then they added in healthy fats, enzymes, trace minerals, vitamins, and prebiotics, and they put it all together into what we call a perfect meal. Now, this is called the Isoline Shake, and it's part of that 30-day reset system that I showed you. So typically when people get started, they start with that 30-day reset program, which is also a body composition program. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to, take your health to the next level, or if you want to improve your body composition, you can use that program for both reasons. So when people get started on this program, when dads get started on this program, what they're doing is they're going to have 2 of these perfect meals a day. They could swap out their 2 worst meals, which are typically breakfast and lunch. A lot of times, dads are picking up lunch, and breakfast is usually not much at all. So there's 2 meals right there that don't have a lot of nourishment. So what they're going to do is flood their body with nourishment, breakfast and lunch, and then have a balanced meal for dinner, which, as you can see there, is a typical meal. Now, some dads need 2 meals and 2 Isagenix meals, and that's fine, depending on their activity level, and it's modifiable depending on the dad. So that's how we work with the nourishment aspect. And very quickly, dads will notice that their energy is going to improve. They're going to be less reliant on caffeine and sugar and these sorts of things to stimulate their body. They're going to notice their cravings are going to go away very quickly. So these are the types of things that we're looking for very early on in the dad program, and that actually helps them become empowered with their nutrition moving forward. So number 1 strategy was nourishment. The second one is detoxification. So why detox? What's this about? We're hearing a lot about it now, but why? Well, the reason is because we have chemicals all over the place. They're spraying chemicals on our food. They're being put into our products, our cologne, shaving cream, deodorant, the soaps we use, shampoo, clothing, our car. If we're commuting, it's coming up through the exhaust pipe of the car in front of us. And I didn't know this at first, but we do not have an unlimited capacity to detoxify. Actually, our detoxification system is dependent greatly on our liver. But let's take it the next step. The liver needs a long list of nourishment in order to do its job. Now, if people are eating a nutritionally deficient diet, or they're eating convenient foods that are nutritionally depleted, there's really no chance the person can keep up. And if they're adding in alcohol and lots of caffeine, well, that's going to actually add to the burden of the liver. And so what ends up happening is those fat-soluble toxins become obesogens. So I actually have a technical name for it, because what happens is the liver takes the extra fat and toxin and wraps it and stores it in our body. And so we become toxin harboring people, and we've got this storage facility of toxins around our waist. Usually it starts and then it moves away from there. So that's why we cleanse. Now, one of the reasons anyways is to assist in the body improving its body composition. There's other reasons though, and that is that toxins actually impact all the systems of our body, and they're linked to a lot of the major diseases that are occurring right now, that are on the rise, like heart disease and cancer and these sorts of things. So here's some of the things that toxins do. They impact the messages from our brain to our body, or our body to our brain. So we become less efficient. It can affect the way information is transferred across our cell membranes. So now our cells become less efficient. Toxins can actually attach themselves to our cell membranes and affect that transmission of information. The other thing that it can do is it can mimic hormones, estrogen being one of them. And dads with high levels of estrogen, that's not good. We don't want that. And in conjunction with all these things, it can also cause a higher level of inflammation throughout our whole system. And this can cause us to be experiencing inflammatory type challenges. And that could be arthritic, it could be digestive, and there's a host of other things that this can lead to. So we want to get the toxins out. So Isagenix looked at it and they said, okay, we're going to do this in a way that really makes sense. And that's what I love about it. Is they said, we're going to take the nourishment first. We're going to build up the reserves of the liver, and through the process, you can be eliminating a lot of the burdens on the body. And when you get to day 7 of the nourishment, then you're going to switch over to cleansing nourishment. So you're actually not going to stop the nourishment. Like a lot of programs, what they do is there's no workup, and then they get you to do a drink that has herbals in it with virtually no nutrition. And we know the liver needs nutrition, so that doesn't really make sense. So what Isagenix did was they said, well, we're going to give you nourishment during your cleanse day. And so that's going to assist in the body getting rid of what it needs. Now, I was really worried about cleansing because I thought, I'm going to get smaller, and I don't need to get smaller because I was small enough. and I'm a hard gainer. It's hard for me to add weight. Now, some really cool things happen when we cleanse. Number one, we get the toxins out. Number two, growth hormone goes up. And for men, that's awesome because we want to put on muscle. It's great for women too because it helps them increase their muscle mass and burn fat. So what we're doing is actually getting our body in the right internal state to do exactly what we want to do, which is burn fat and building muscle at the same time, get the toxins out. And in conjunction with all of that, through taking a break from solid food and cleansing, we actually reset our insulin sensitivity. And so what happens there is now all of a sudden our sugar, our A1C, if we're getting that tested by our doctor, is going to most likely improve as a result of cleansing. And we see this consistently because of the resetting of our insulin sensitivity. So these are all the benefits of cleansing in conjunction with proper nourishment. So that's strategy number 2. Now we're going to go into number 3, which is balancing the body. So the big challenge that we have going on right now, especially, parents, is stress. I mean, it's so busy, going from program to program, trying to pay the bills. There's a lot of demands on parents to really be all and do all for our kids and for our spouses and or significant others, for ourselves. And it's a lot of stress. And so what's happening is that stress is chronic for most dads. And chronic stress will move our body away from balance. So it's either going to cause us the cortisol levels that are high are going to cause us to either, gain fat, and at the same time, it's going to cause us to reduce our muscle mass. And nobody wants this. And so if we want to improve our body composition or reset our health, we have to have a strategy for stress. But we still have kids, we still have a job, we still have relationships, and all those factors. It's not like we can just, change everything just like that. So how do you keep living life and change the stress that's going on in your life at the same time? And so Isagenix, what they did was they sourced these plants called adaptogens, which are plants that grow in very harsh conditions around the world. And like the Himalayas, for example. And because of the harsh conditions, these plants have adaptogenic properties. When we eat those plants, we get those adaptogenic properties. And for a dad, that's huge. And for a dad that wants to improve his body composition, take his health to the next level, even better. Because what is going to happen is you're going to have the same stresses going on in your life, but you're going to notice that you're able to handle it better. You're going to feel like you're more relaxed. You might be, and so if you have the same level of stresses, you're going to find you're more relaxed in those stresses. But it can also allow you to play at a higher game. So you can now demand more of yourself. Okay. And for an athlete, that's huge. So it allows you to train more, train harder, and recover faster. And that's what we're seeing with this product called Ionic Supreme. So what you do is every morning you take this Ionic Supreme to help reset your system, help get the cortisol curve the way it's supposed to be. So that's strategy number 3. So far, to review, we have covered nourishing your body every day. In the morning, what you're going to do is have that balancing shot of Ionic Supreme. It's just a shot. And then once a week for 4 weeks, you do a cleanse day. And this is not a poopy cleanse. This is a cleanse where you can function normally. Your first cleanse, you may not want to be going like hardcore at work, but you can function normally. You might pee a little bit more, but that's really, as far as your relationship with your toilet, that's probably the most that you're going to notice. All right, so the 4th strategy is protection. And it's not the type of protection that you're thinking of, dads. What I'm talking about is protecting yourselves. So have you ever noticed that, some dads are 40 and they look 25, and then other dads are 40, but they look like they're 60? What's the difference? And the difference is how their body has adapted to stresses. And a lot of that adaptation has to do with how much we're stressing our body, but also what we're eating to protect our body, because we can actually protect our body significantly through nutrition. And Isagenix also was aware of this. So what they did was they created a supplement system, which has an AM and a PM pack of supplements, which includes the basics like omega fats, vitamin D, a blanket of vitamins, vitamin C, these sorts of things. But they added in a very powerful antioxidant supplement. And what this does is protects your body from free radicals, which age our body faster. So they included the antioxidants, but they also included another very powerful strategy, which is called telomere support. So telomere support is based on Nobel Prize winning research in protecting our telomeres, which are on the end of our chromosomes. And when these telomeres shorten, we age. So the game here is to keep our telomeres long. And what Isagenix did was they discovered that there's certain plants that actually help protect our telomeres. And they put them into this supplement. So we can have that in the AM and the PM every single day, and it helps to protect our telomeres and changes the game in aging. So those are the 4 strategies. Now, I have the pleasure of sharing the testimonial of one of our dads in our team, and he's going to be up here in just a sec. All right. Just gonna scoot here through the last few. Okay, so I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Dave Ivey. Dr. Dave is from North Toronto and a good friend of mine. And Dave, are you there? Whoop, one sec. Try again, Dave.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Hi there. Yes. So I started, I heard about Isagenix through Evan here about a year ago. And I, like Evan, was a hard gainer, grew up kind of a skinny guy, became a dad when I was in my early 30s. And so my kids now are 23 and 21. And back when they were younger, you know, I was a busy dad, didn't have a lot of time to exercise. And then as they got older, I would every so often make efforts to gain muscle and gain weight, and failed every time. Kind of would get discouraged and stop. But when I saw changes in Evan's pictures, I thought, okay, I got to get with this guy and find out what he's been doing. And I realized that the things that he was just talking about, the depleted nutrition had really affected me. It was hard for me to get enough protein. And, you know, I was eating junk food, and because I was a skinny guy, I felt like, well, I can eat anything. But what happened was once I turned 50, I could gain weight, but it was all in my belly. And so I started getting a nice pot belly, which I was not happy with. And so when I started working with Isagenix, I saw incredible changes. I lost 3 inches were let go of my waist in the first month, and I had done different types of detox diets before, and always felt really gross doing them. But with cleanse days, I felt great. Like I was able to do my normal day while I was cleansing, which was fantastic. And the shakes were super convenient and easy to do. And so it was much more easy for me to get healthy nutrition, which I loved. And they tasted delicious. So the picture on the left was after I'd already been on the program for a little while. And so I'd already lost 3 inches from my waist. And then I did this IsaBody challenge and lost another 3 inches. And I've been feeling better. My energy is a lot higher, and just love it. I will continue to do it. And I'm recommending it to friends and people that are patients in my practice, and who are all seeing really great results with it. So thank you, Evan, for introducing me to this. I'm really grateful you did.
Thanks, Dave. That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get back here and see if I can make this work. So we have Marcus De Silva all the way from Australia. We're going to see if we can get him connected here. Marcus, you there? Okay. He's going to go right into it right away. Here he goes.
G'day guys, my name's Marcus. I'm 34 years old. I'm a dad of two and I live in Perth, Western Australia. I've been working for myself for the past few years, so mealtime for me throughout the day didn't really consist of anything healthy. There was a lot of, driving to fast food outlet for lunches and, sort of eating on the go, quick snacks, a lot of processed foods. Since finding Isagenix, I actually started with 2 shakes a day with the odd protein bar in the afternoon. And within the first couple of weeks, I actually put on a couple of kilos of muscle, as you can see in my transformation photos. I was really surprised as to how fast it actually worked for me. And I continue to stay on the same routine just to maintain that now, because that was my goal. I notice now I'm feeling a lot better. I have a lot more energy. I'm a lot more happier and confident with myself. I like to wear t-shirts now, whereas before I never did. And going forward, this is something that I would highly recommend people try, because it's worked for me. It's also worked for my wife. And going forward, I just think this will be something that I do for the rest of my life. Thanks, guys.
Wow. Thanks, Marcus. And for those of you that don't know, t-shirt means muscle shirt. So he was opposed to wearing muscle shirts for most of his life because of his, well, up to now actually, because he wasn't happy with his with the way he looks. So thanks so much, Marcus. All right, so let's move on here. All right, so now Marcus talked about how he feels like he has a lot more energy, and I find that, and when we talked about the nourishment, and once the body gets what it needs, the energy and the energy we find goes up, and so a lot of dads, what they want to do is start to exercise more, or go more intensely in their exercises. And so Isagenix recognized this, and they thought, okay, people, if they're going to be, adding more exercise into their life, they need to support that. So if we stay with the same nourishment, but we demand more of our body, well, that's not good for it either. So what they did was they created strategies to help us get the most out of our workouts and recover faster. And for athletes, dads that are athletes, they can really help them enhance their workouts. So I'm going to show a short video of these products. Just one sec. Right on. Okay, so what you saw there was pre-workouts, during workouts, and post-workout strategies to help us with recovery and improving our performance. Okay, so what's the science around Isagenix? So Isagenix takes its science very seriously. As far as a nourishment company goes, they have gone way above and beyond what you see in the marketplace. So 50 full-time scientists, they have 7 peer-reviewed published articles. They've done some very risky studies, and I'll share them with you in a moment. But you can go online and look at these. They've got studies on men's performance. So this is showing the increase in performance by including the nourishment strategies as well as some of the performance products into our lives. But this study here, this one that you see on the left here, 12-month study, and what they did was, and get this, they compared eating grocery store food, so an optimal grocery store food diet, with grocery store food eating combined with the strategies of Isagenix over 12 months. So this is a very risky study, clearly, and it's very expensive. It's third-party study that they had. They had Paul Arciero on the top right was holding the study, and what they found was they had 4 times more fat loss with the combination of grocery store foods and the strategies of Isagenix, as well as 4 times more increase in muscle mass, 2 times more increase in metabolism, and 3 times more toxins released. So very clearly that combining the two is a much better strategy than just having grocery store food on its own. I equate it to grocery store food eating is like iPhone 3. Adding in Isagenix is like upgrading to an iPhone 7. And you'll hear a lot of people, when they get going with the strategies of Isagenix, they're like, I'm never going to downgrade. Like, who wants to downgrade to an iPhone 3? How are dads supported? Well, number one, you're not going to be left to your own devices. You're going to be taken through a process so you know exactly what to do. So it starts right at the beginning. The person that shared this video with you is going to help you with choosing the right system. You're going to plug you into the Facebook support page, which has a couple thousand people. They're either learning about the programs or actually sharing their transformations. It's where you can get educated, inspired. So once you've chosen the right system, I'm going to help you with ordering it online, help you prepare with a preparation email right away, and then checkpoints the day before you start your program, the day before your first cleanse day, and on day 25 to help you get set up the way you want to be set up moving forward. Isagenix also has 2 programs that help with you having higher levels of success. One of them is called the IsaBody Challenge, which is a 4-month personal challenge. And it's really about you raising the bar. It's you taking your game to the next level. So what you do is you take your before photos, you follow the program. Now after 4 months, you take your pictures again, submit those to Isagenix. They're going to give you a $200 product credit for that. So you could actually do that 3 times over the year and get $600 in free products from Isagenix, which is incredible when you think about it, because what company pays you or gives you that for improving your health? And it really shows what Isagenix is about. Then there's a Healthy Mind and Body program. This is a 60-day program where each day you do a short exercise, and it helps with it helps people that have unhealthy mind habits. So it could be negative self-talk. They may need to work on how they are thinking to help catch up with how their body is changing. So it really helps them create sustainable long-term change in the transformation that they have had. So what's the investment, what's the risk, and what's the expectations? So most people can either save money or break even doing this program. Some people have to invest, but that usually means that maybe a few dollars or $2 a day, whatever it may be, and they're going to get their health back. So it is a very good investment, no matter how you look at it. So for example, if we look at, and I always ask this question, like, what do you currently spend right now on breakfast and lunch? And most people, it's between $15 and $20 that they're spending on breakfast and lunch. So most dads are eating out once a day, so it's easily that much. When you add in snacks in the morning and supplements on top of that. A lot of people are way over the $20. And so that program that I just educated you on with the 4 strategies in, this is like the Tesla pack, the value pack. That pack is $22.80 a day at your doorstep. That's everything in at your door, and it's replacing 2 meals a day, all your supplementation with the whole protection strategy. It's got snacks in there. It's got the help with your stress, all that, and it's going to help you move in the direction that you want to. So you could literally take the money you're already spending and divert it over to superfood nourishment in conjunction with healthy eating and get to where you want to go. Now, you don't have to go necessarily with the value pack. You go with the base pack, and that still incorporates the meals and the cleansing and to help with the stress, the balancing, and that's $14 a day at your doorstep. So for a lot of dads, that's actually saving them money. So what's with this worry-free 30-day guarantee? So in Isagenix, you could consume this product for 30 days, and if you're not completely happy with your results, you could return and get your money back. And a lot of times, Isagenix doesn't actually ask you to return it, but in the case, sometimes they do. So that would be the equivalent of you going to the grocery store, filling up your cart with 30 days of groceries, consuming them, and walking back into Whole Foods or Sobeys, asking for the manager and saying, hey, you know what? I'm not happy with my results. I just don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way they look. It's not doing anything for me. Well, they would laugh you out of the store, and obviously you wouldn't get your money back. Where in Isagenix, they know what they have, and they can give this guarantee. As a chiropractor, I can never give a 30-day guarantee because I couldn't guarantee results in 30 days. So it just lets you know what Isagenix knows what it has. So I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of your first 14 days on the program. So I'm not going to lie to you, dads. Sometimes the first few days you don't feel great. Okay. With any change, it can be uncomfortable. This is no different. Your body could be breaking some habits or some addictions to certain types of foods. It could be getting used to a flood of really high quality nourishment. And actually, when the body gets great nourishment, our energy can actually go down because it's using that energy or that nourishment to help heal our body. Okay. But somewhere around day 5, you're going to wake up after a sound sleep and you're going to feel different. You're not going to know you're not going to be able to necessarily pinpoint what the difference is, but you're going to notice there's some change. Now, it could be that you feel more clear, that you just aren't going for the coffee as much as you used to. You have more energy when you get home. That you just feel less stress. Those sorts of things. Okay, and then you're going to start thinking those people that put together that webinar that you watched in that group aren't crazy, whereas you might have thought we were crazy in the first few days. Somewhere around day 10, you're going to end your first canister of shake, and you're going to wish that you could have more of it, and you might even let the person know that they're not crazy and that you're sorry you thought they were crazy, because at that time you're actually noticing your clothes are fitting differently, your energy has gone way up, your reliance on caffeine and sugar and that sort of stuff has dropped off. You have more energy for your kids, more energy for your wife, more energy for yourself. Your wife might even say, whatever it is you're taking, keep going with it. I'll sacrifice getting my nails done for this. But somewhere around day 14, without even opening your mouth, somebody is going to ask you, what are you doing? And I get this all the time. Dads coming to me and they say, yeah, one of my coworkers at work is asking me what I'm doing. What do I do? And this is where we say, you know what? Don't be stingy with the information. There's a lot of dads out there that are struggling big time. They're just barely making it through the days. And yeah, they need something. So what you can do is plug them into the Facebook group and pass this webinar on to them. And as a result of sharing, Isagenix will reward you very generously for doing so. They don't spend any money on advertising. What they do is they give it to their customers who share. So for example, if you start with a value pack and you happen to share with a couple other dads, a couple other colleagues, Or maybe it's not a dad, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your mom, maybe, you know, some friends that are, you know, in Australia. Isagenix will give you right away, after sharing the value pack with 2 people, let's just say it's in the same week, they're going to give you, in Canadian dollars, $420 for that. In the US, it'd be $360. Okay, so it's very generous. So this is what happens. Say, hey, bud, what are you doing? And I shared with you at the beginning, you know, my story and how Isagenix became something that wasn't expected, which was another income for my family, and it helped me free up. And I never thought, you know, back when I started, I was 29 years old. The word network marketing was a bad word. You know, I didn't even want to say it. But now I'm super proud to be a part of it, because I'm helping other dads, I'm helping other people across the planet with these nourishment strategies. And so this is an option for you. Okay, it's an option. You don't have to do it. But if you're looking for a way to increase your household income, or if your spouse is looking for a way to increase your household income, Isagenix is a very, very powerful way that you can do that. So I talked about the grocery store analogy. Could you imagine loving your grocery store, sharing it with people, like telling them this is the best store? Like the Leaside Longos is an amazing grocery store. And I tell people about it all the time. And people have come to that grocery store because of it. Now imagine I shared with a couple buddies that grocery store, you know, and then they tell their wives, and their wives tell, you know, their friends, and so on and so on and so on. And I actually get a rebate, cash back, for every single person's purchases that go to that grocery store. And it's the same percentage for every person, no matter how many people it goes, how many levels that goes. That's Isagenix right there. That's what happened for me, is that I shared with some people, and they shared, and they shared, and they shared. And what happened is the income continued to increase. So that's the power of this. It's something that you could literally do in the pockets of your life over your phone. So where does the integrity of Isagenix come from? So it really comes from the founder, John Anderson, who is a formulator. So what he did was he came out of retirement after 25 years of formulation. He formulated 2,300 products for over 600 companies, all private label companies, and became very frustrated with the industry because they were changing his formulations, you know, adding things or taking things away that changed the way they impacted people. So he retired, very wealthy man, but then he needed to help himself with his health. So what he did was he created this program and had some significant changes in his health. And he realized he had something that he could take to market and help people. And he teamed up with Jim and Kathy Cougar. So this is like a mom and pop shop that has gone to $1 billion in sales globally. And what they're doing is they're creating the largest health and wellness company in the world and fulfilling their vision to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain. And I am extremely grateful to be part of this movement. So I'm going to leave you with this. Give yourself massive, unreasonable goals that freak you out a little. You are capable of more than you know. I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm going to turn it back over to Ron. Ron, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks so much, Evan. I've heard you a number of times, and I learn from you every time I hear you. And you are a wealth of knowledge. And I know how much you care about helping people. Thank you. I also like to thank Dr. Dave Ivey and Marcus De Silva for sharing their stories with us tonight. Very inspiring. And a special thank you to everybody who came out to the call tonight. We appreciate you being here. If anybody has any questions, please ask us in the chat line there on your screen, and we will answer them as soon as we can. And a reminder that when you want to get set up with your program, do so with the person that invited you here to make sure that you're set up with the best pricing for the program. So let me just check. Okay, I see that we don't have any questions at this time. If you do have any questions, again, get in contact with the person that invited you to the call. And have a great night, and see you again.